Who does your pictures, by the way?
What, Lucas?
The ones that go on your Instagram?
What, the studio ones? Lucas Noonan, we're going to get some done, yeah. We're live. We're live.
David Alorka back with the one and only Mr. Gareth A. Davies. Today we're live and direct in Manchester. Finally back in Manchester for the first time in 2019. Gareth, let me know what we're doing here.
We're in a music hall because there's going to be some chin music on
Sweet
Saturday
chin
night
music.
at the Manchester Arena. It's the end of Anthony Crolla's decorated career. Katie Taylor looks to step up a weight against Christina Linardou, boxing out of Athens, Greece, but originally from the Dominican Republic. I've got to ask her a question later on as well. She's Christina Linardou Duran. Now, we've got to ask her some questions about that surname Duran, because I want to know if there's any relation to the great Panamanian, of course, of Roberto fame.
Fat and knowledge, mate. Fat and knowledge.
Here's the thing. The only person that Linardou has lost to is Delphine Persoon, who had life and, well, let's say life and death with Katie Taylor on that incredible night when Andy Ruiz defeated Anthony Joshua at Madison Square Garden. Of course, Persoon is going to be pursued by Taylor for a rematch. But if Katie can win on Saturday nights, the WBO, what do they call it, super lightweight or light welterweight title, as I now call it, because I'm correct.
You love
now.
it. You love calling it.
I don't love it. I like light welterweight, 140 pounds as opposed to 135 pounds.
Yep.
She becomes only the third Irish person in history to win world titles in two weight divisions.
All right.
But
both male and female.
Both male and female.
Incredible.
Linardou is a short, squat, powerful fighter who's moved up from super featherweight to lightweight, to light welterweight. Katie always said she'd stay at lightweight, but we might see her move up 3 weight divisions because Edward Hearn has signed the First Lady, Cecilia Brækhus, the Norwegian, and she may fight her at a weight just below 147 pounds if she feels like it. I've just been in the back room with Katie and her mum Bridget. And
I was at breakfast with her mum.
Yeah, were you really?
I was.
I met her mum in a bar in New York 2 years ago.
It's not competition time, mate.
Do you know what? I tell you how. She was watching. She was sitting there watching an iPad with all these women boxing, and I went, "Hello." She went, "Oh, hello." She said, "Oh, I know you." I said, "How do you know me?" She said, "Oh, you've written about Katie for years." It was her mother, Bridget. Bridget told me just now she's never lost a fight in the street either.
Is it?
Yeah, no, but she's always with Katie. It's an amazing relationship. Watch out for my mother and daughter story in the Daily Telegraph
later
this week. Don't often plug my stuff.
Little razz-dazzle of a plug.
Exactly. If you haven't seen our interview with Tyson Fury fighting in the WWE tonight, go and check that out.
Check it out.
Yeah?
Plug Central.
And you told me I was being savage with him because I said his ringlets had dropped out.
Yeah. He was being an absolute sav. Well,
it must have been love.
Listen, but it's over now. Listen, the thing is, what they need to know, what they want to know is, what are the odds looking like for these two fights?
Tell them, Cheeky.
I'll tell them. Listen. The odds, the bookmakers have this as a foregone conclusion. They've got Katie Taylor winning this at 1-25. 1-25. So Gareth, for all of your houses, you've got to put down 25 houses to win one back.
That's a lot of Monopoly boards right there, yeah? That's a lot of red houses on the Monopoly board.
Absolutely.
Listen, don't rule out Linardou. Don't sleep on her. 12-1, the only loss to Delphine Persoon. She's a tough cookie. She's fought the last 2 or 3 years in Athens, Greece. But also, what she has done is come up from super feather to lightweight, to light welterweight. So she's come up 3 weight divisions. She's not the biggest woman in the world. Katie, I'm told, has put in the best camp of her life. Disappointed in a performance against Persoon. A very tough fight that night in Madison Square Garden. Some people had it for Persoon, some people had it for Katie Taylor. You know me, I'm on record with you. I just had it for Persoon, but it doesn't matter. The judges are the ones that decide. She'll want to put the wrongs to right, rectify that, and put in a great performance at the Manchester Arena, which is one of the great arenas. Ricky Hatton here, Anthony Crolla down the years. It's one of those places that Manchester's a fight town. They love their fights here. I'm looking forward to it on Saturday night. Martin Bacoli's in action again against Mr. Hernandez, first name You can't remember?
Look at him, he's trying to put it on me.
I was thinking,
Can you?
I think, well, it might be Kevin.
It definitely ain't.
It's not Kevin. It might be Gavin.
Nah.
No. Well, it's not.
Listen. Well, we hit them with the odds of Katie Taylor winning. Christina Linardou, as I like to pronounce it.
That's fine
Is
by
at
me.
9-1. Is at 9-1 to win that fight. Now, how much value do you see in that as a 9-1?
It's not a bad bet. You never know. Look, Linardou, Katie's very
and that's
hard
just
to
to
stop.
outright win.
Look, she's a powerful puncher. She doesn't have the hand speed of Katie Taylor. That's the big thing. Taylor has an amazing hand speed. Persoon was a very difficult opponent for Katie because she found it hard to put a dent in her that night. And Persoon created awkward angles. Linardou does not create the same kind of awkward angles. She's more of an orthodox fighter, but very ebullient, very aggressive. Will want to get on the inside. She's 5'4", shorter reach than Katie. Katie will want to keep this long, keep her footwork good, keep moving in this fight, and slowly wind her down.
Do you feel like Persoon is given the kind of blueprint on how to get at Katie Taylor?
Well, what Persoon did was went relentlessly at Katie, matched her punch for punch, toe to toe, went toe to toe with her because Katie couldn't put a dent in her. She really did return with fire, and it was an amazing roughhouse brawl in the end. They both went for it. That last round, you remember yourself when we were in Madison Square Garden, the roof was coming off the place.
It was
incredible.
Indeed. It was electric.
Incredible fight, electric.
And it will be electric in Manchester Arena on Saturday night. Now, Katie Taylor, the odds are looking like it's likely that she'd win on points at 4-11, which is actually better than any other odds for round betting. 50-1 round 1, round 2 33-1, round 3 28-1, rounds 4 and 5 25-1, and the shortest round to round betting is 20-1 in 6, 7, and 8 and 9.
Well, I think Katie may stop her 8, 9, 10, 11. So I don't know what 10 and 11 are as well.
10 and 11. Well, round 10 is at 28-1.
Not bad at all, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
You know, I wouldn't rule out Katie stopping her as this fight goes on, but later in the fight.
Linardou is 150-1 throughout the entire fight.
Wow.
To stop.
So she's a massive.
Is it worth a cheeky little £2?
Definitely, even a 20.
Ooh, a cheeky little 20. Now listen.
But don't put any of those houses on it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Eddie and the rest of the fighters look like they're about to take their, they are taking their seats right behind us.
Is it that time for ladies and gentlemen? Where is the old crooner?
The old crooner? You absolutely...
Yeah,
listen, he's in full savage mode. He's in actually full savage mode today.
The beautiful old silver-haired crooner.
Exactly.
I think he's had more comebacks than Frank Sinatra, hasn't he?
Yeah, but listen, that voice is gold. That voice is worth its weight in gold.
I just don't want him to say ladies and gentlemen. I want him to sing ladies and gentlemen.
To sing it.
Yeah.
Have you heard him singing?
He's just nearly knocked Christina Linardou over. He's so busy taking photographs of people. We love him though.
Oh, we do, absolutely.
We love the buff.
Yeah, we do love the buff.
We love the buff in the buff.
I took a little picture. This guy, look. It's
you ever seen the buff in the buff?
No, never in my entire life.
Buff, baby.
Serious?
The buff is buff in the buff. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is.
No, it's... Oh. Not quite. We're still here. Now, obviously, as you mentioned, Anthony Crolla is also there. Well, I think he is here now. Let's step out.
Test.
Okay. Where's Crolla? Is Joe here? Gallagher. Joe Gallagher is.
Joel's here, yeah, there he is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the official final press conference for the world-class boxing event that'll be held this Saturday in Manchester. Now, it seems like every week we're someplace with Matchroom Boxing. They've just been putting on show after show, and it's great to be here in Manchester because I've been here so many times. For me personally, it's always a treat. I love the arena, I love the atmosphere, I love the fans. And I hate to stand in the middle when I just look at this lineup here. An unbelievable show. It's going to be a great night once again. World-class professional boxing. It's going to be an emotional night for one reason. You'll hear more about that later. And it's going to be a great night for sports fans. And here to tell you more about it, for Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Thank you. Thank you. Can always rely on Brian Peters, one of my few fans. Thank you, Brian. Welcome, Manchester. Thanks for turning out today. Great turnout here ahead of our big show at Manchester Arena this Saturday night, live on Sky Sports, live on DAZN across America. And look at the amount of fighters we've got here. Thank you all for attending today, and thank you for squeezing on both tables, and thank you to all the media that's with us. It's a big night for many reasons. Of course, Michael talked there about the final fight of Anthony Crolla this weekend. I think we're going to, after this press conference, forget the niceties of the career and the memories and concentrate on a very important fight for him this Saturday against Frank Urquieta, because this is a must-win fight for Anthony Crolla. This is the final fight of his career, and I know he wants to finish with another title and with another victory. Of course, the main fight this weekend is a groundbreaking occasion for Katie Taylor, moving up to 140 pounds to take on the WBO world champion Christina Linardou in a very, very tough fight after becoming the undisputed world champion at Madison Square Garden in June. We have a brilliant domestic middleweight fight between Felix Cash and Jack Cullen as well, and all the other fights here that we'll be talking about shortly. Before we go into the detail and hear from the fighters, I'm going to pass to the head of boxing from Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Thanks, Eddie. What a wonderful turnout it always seems to be in Manchester. It's a fantastic fight city. We've been coming here for 25 years on Sky, and we've seen some wonderful events in the arena. So many with Anthony, so many with Ricky Hatton, and many other great fighters, the likes of Nigel Benn, Nassim Hammer, Joe Calzaghe. So many fighters have fought up here, and it's a great fight city. And Michael's right, you know, when you walk around, there's a special buzz in the air in the last sort of 48 hours before a big event. And there will be one or two tears in the eye when Anthony Crolla bids us farewell on Saturday night. What a phenomenal career he's had. You know, always had the tag of the nicest guy in boxing, but he really has been. And, you know, he's fought long and hard and battled through a lot of things. And, you know, we at Sky are very proud of his career, and we'll be looking forward to his swan song. But, of course, it's a fight he needs to win. Katie Taylor, absolutely magnificent ambassador for the sport, and wonderful for us as well to have been involved since she turned professional. She's got a real tough arse moving up in weight against Christina here, who will definitively want to hold on to that title. Two great fights to finish the night, but what a selection of talent as well on display. It really is magnificent. It's Eddie said, you know, we have to squeeze ourselves into these tables. We do in Manchester always. It brings something special out. But I just want to pick out Martin McCauley and say thank you to him. He fought a couple of weeks ago in Newcastle, and he performed really well against Kevin Johnson. And when Joshua Buatsi couldn't make it on the bill, I said to Eddie, let's try and do something with Martin. And he and Billy Nelson jumped to the chance, and that is what boxing's all about. That's what fighters need to do, and we're very grateful for that. Listen, last weekend, incredible in London. One of the great fights we've ever had on Sky with Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis. Now we're in Manchester. The road show goes on, one of the most powerful schedules to finish a year ever, and we cannot wait for Saturday night. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, and echo that as we move into November. This Saturday, we are off the back of 3 Fight of the Year contenders in October on Sky Sports and DAZN. Gennady Golovkin against Derevenchenko, Robbie Davies Jr. against Lewis Ritson, and a brilliant Prograis against Taylor last week at the O2. It's been a great run. I'm going to attempt to speak to everybody now on this bottom table. If I miss anyone, just give me a nudge, because it's been happening quite a lot lately. We're going to start with Hopi Price. Hopi, welcome, professional debut. I'm not sure you look even old enough to fight, but I've seen you fight, and you can really fight. Great member from the GB squad, obviously trained and managed by Dave Coldwell as well. Hope you're looking forward to getting off and running on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm just turned professional. Obviously, a couple of I only announced I was signing with you 2 weeks ago, so I'm happy to be on the show. I'm happy to perform on such a big stage on Saturday night.
Obviously, a great team at the Coldwell gym. Jordan Gill, the McDonald's. Fowler as well. You've been working hard with Dave for some time now. You feel like you're ready now to hit the paid ranks?
Yeah, I fitted straight in with the boys down the gym, Jordan Gill, Anthony Fowler. They've all helped me, and now I feel like I'm ready for the professional ranks, and I'm going to show what I'm about Saturday night.
Look forward to seeing your debut. Dalton Smith, welcome. Little trip to Italy for you to rack up another victory. A good experience for you. looking forward to boxing in Manchester on Saturday night?
That's it, yeah. I just picked another win up in Italy and then straight back out, 3 weeks later here in Manchester. So, I'm staying active, I'm getting plenty of fights, and, I'm looking forward to putting on another performance Saturday.
You've had plenty of experiences. Obviously, you've had your debut. You were floating in the show at the O2. Didn't get on that card, but boxed at the O2 previously. Like I said, Italy and now Manchester. It's been a good few months for you. Have you found the professional ranks and moving forward in 2020, look to start challenging for some domestic titles? That's
it, yeah. The plan was to stay active up until Christmas, and, I've got to thank you and Sky for making that happen. I've got a few good fights up to Christmas now, and then I look forward to next year and, hopefully pick some titles up and look for those bigger fights.
Look forward to seeing you back in action on Saturday. Nathan Farrell, welcome. Pleasure to have you on the Liverpool show recently. Yeah. And talking to you, I can't stop thinking about your brother, because you two are absolute spits of each other, but sold huge amount of tickets. Looking forward to fighting in Manchester on Saturday.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit better looking than Kieran, thank you.
Actually, you might be right. You might be right.
I feel blessed to be on this show, surrounded by all these great fighters. It's an honour to fight on the same show as Katie Taylor, who go down as a boxing legend. And obviously, my story is I'm Kieran Farrell's brother. I had a brief amateur career, but I was undefeated national champion. My brother had a brain injury in a fight with Anthony Crolla, and I walked away from boxing, but suffered my own injury that left me unable to walk for 4 years. And it was them dark days that spurred me to do this again. I won't go on with myself. I just want to congratulate Anthony Crolla on a great career. He's done me proud, my brother proud, my family proud, and I'm just buzzing to get back in the ring just at the right time to fight on, Katie Taylor and Anthony Crolla's undercard. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Cheers. Thank you. We've got a great fight for the WBA International Super Bantamweight Championship between Kez Ashfaq and Joe Ham. I think now this is where it starts getting exciting for our young prospects. Joe Ham and Kez Ashfaq, two great amateurs. Kez, part of the GB setup, podium squad member as well. Very, very talented fighter. Now starts to come into the real tests, where you're going to start seeing these young amateurs really perform. Joe Ham going to be bringing all the action on Saturday night. Joe, we'll start with you. Welcome. Pleasure to have you back on the show. Looking forward to this big opportunity for you on Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. It's just up to myself, been training hard, so looking forward to taking the opportunity with both hands.
What can you expect from this fight? Obviously, you've known Kez a while. I'm sure you've mixed in the same circles as well as amateurs and know each other's style as well.
Yeah, we boxed a few times in amateurs, but the last in the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, but that was 5 years ago, and there's a big jump between amateur and pro, so I'm confident the pro style suits me better than I can get the win on Saturday night.
Kez, exciting times now. Start moving towards the titles. Of course, your first title fight, getting the history with Joe, and been around the amateur scene with him as well. Expecting a good fight on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not underestimating Joe. I've boxed him 4 times in the amateurs. I know what he's about. I believe I know what he's going to bring. But even if he does decide to change tactics, I believe I've got the tools to combat anything he brings, and I'm looking forward to getting a good win on Saturday night, God willing.
You've had a great start, and everybody that you've boxed so far, especially the ones that have actually come to fight, you've looked better and better against. Do you think as you move up through the levels, we're going to see the best of Kez Ashfaq when you're facing people who are hungry and coming to win?
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, when they come at me, it just makes it easy for me, in my opinion. And I believe Joe Ham's going to come. He's going to come to fight. He's probably hoping he's going to tire me out towards the end of the fight, but it's not going to happen. I'm in the best shape of my life, and like I say, I can't go in there and, God willing, win my first title Saturday night.
Thanks, Kez. We move to the heavyweight division. As Adam said, Martin Bacoli, who has had a great start to his heavyweight career, of course, become one of the very few men to stop Kevin Johnson in Newcastle recently. Stepped out of the ring there, straight back in the ring 2 weeks later, and a great fight with Rodney Hernandez. Rodney Hernandez always comes to fight. We saw him in a great fight with Joey Dueco recently on our Hooker Ramirez card in Dallas. Rodney, I didn't recognise you with the glasses on. You look far too nice. I know I've seen you fight time and time again, and looking forward to, I believe, your first fight in the UK. on Saturday and a good challenge in Martin Bakole.
Yes, this is my first time here. Thank you for inviting me. And I can't wait to put on a show, you know. I just can't wait. I love the sport. I love boxing. Makes me feel normal. I just love it, like, you know. So I just can't wait. Just, you know, can't wait to go in there and just risk it all.
Every time we've seen you, you always come to fight. So does Martin Bakole. Fans can expect a good tear up on Saturday.
Oh, yes, definitely. Like, you know, it just, once I get in that ring, I feel normal, you know. So I know a lot of these fighters here,
You keep saying that. You keep saying that, Rodney. Are you not normal outside of? I mean, tell us a little bit about this story.
Well, like, I grew up pretty rough, but boxing makes me feel normal. So it makes me smile. So I like it. It makes me sleep well.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you normal on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. Martin, I'm not sure you're normal either, but one thing we can expect with you is always great fights, great entertainment, and you took this opportunity having had some good rounds in Newcastle, and now I know that you know the heavyweight division, Billy knows the division very well. This is a serious fight for you on Saturday. Rodney always comes to fight.
Yeah, firstly, I want to thank God for this big opportunity. You remember, Eddie, I always tell you that I'm ready for anybody. So I don't know what to say. I was just waiting on Saturday night to see what the big man will bring to the table. I always be ready for anybody. He's coming to fight, and I'm coming to fight. So we'll see. The best must win.
Thank you. Martin Bakole against Rodney Hernandez on Saturday night. Now we talk about female boxing. Of course, Katie Taylor has paved the way for so many in the amateur and professional ranks, one of those being Terry Harper. I think a great success story in the last 12 months. Huge support coming out of Yorkshire, and Steffi Bull, who must be here somewhere, has done a great job as well with Terry. She's probably one of the most improved fighters I've seen, male or female, over the last 12 months. And Vivian Obernorth, who's broken hearts in Britain before stopping Natasha Jonas recently as she looked to go and challenge for a world title. This is a tough fight for Terry Harper. Definitely the toughest of her career so far, defending her IBO world title. Vivian, we'll start with you. Welcome back. Excited for Saturday?
Gracias. Thank you very much.
We'll have a translator.
Translator.
Okay. Rodney, how's your Spanish?
My Spanish is like 80%, but not perfect. But you know.
I can help. Sí, muy bien. Mira.
Rodney, you can just be normal over there. Right, okay.
Hola. Hi. Estoy muy contenta de estar aquí, muy contenta. He estado 6 meses enferma, tenía un problema en mis brazos y ahora estoy preparada para esa pelea, más preparada que la pelea de... ¿Cómo se llama la otra?
How was the name of the other fighter?
Terry Harper.
Sí, más que tenía ganado agosto.
Natasha Jones.
Natasha Jones. Muy bien.
Sorry. I was a bit worried that you didn't know who you were fighting. I've got to be honest with you. So, yeah, it was definitely Natasha Jones.
She's very happy for being here. She's been ill for 6 months, but now she's super prepared for going for this fight. She's even more prepared than that fight against Natasha?
Yes.
Natasha Jones.
Sí, muy.
Very.
Thank you. Vivian Obernorth, everybody. Thank you. Terry, Spanish or Doncaster, whatever you fancy. Big moment for you. Obviously, you've boxed the Sheffield Arena before on one of our shows, now defending your world title. Some huge fights out there for you, but this one definitely the toughest of your career so far.
Yeah, definitely. I've been on Sky shows before, Sheffield and Nottingham, but this time I'm officially as a matchroom boxer. I've got a tough test Saturday night. I've trained hard, and I'm prepared for a tough 10 rounds with Vivian. I'm excited, and this is a test that I need to take me to the next level for the other future world title belts.
Obviously now there's big fights in every division as a female fighter. I mean, Eva Wallström, we're looking at, who obviously Katie's boxed as well, great champion. Michaela Meyer looking really good stateside as well. Natasha Jonas at super featherweight as well. Very important fight for you on Saturday. I know there's been a lot of hype and excitement from Steffi and around where you're from as well, but it's a must-win fight for you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm here and I've got to be winning Vivian on Saturday night, and that's what will take me to the next step and the next level, really.
Thank you, Terry. Terry against Vivian Obanor for the IBO Super Featherweight World title on Saturday night. We move to, as I said, a brilliant, brilliant fight between Jack Cullen and the Commonwealth champion Felix Cash on Saturday night. These are the great fights because now it's an opportunity for both these guys to break out in a big domestic fight and really move to the next level. Felix Cash has looked almost perfect so far in his career as a professional, trained out at Tony Sims's gym, huge amounts of talent, very, very exciting to watch. Jack Cullen, we saw him on our show recently, huge support, has masses of fans coming from Bolton and Manchester on Saturday night. This is a brilliant, brilliant matchup that I'm very, very excited about. Jack, we'll start with you. I don't mean to cause trouble between you two, but he said that you've been chinned before and he's going to chin you again, and you said he didn't really want this fight and you're going to jab his head off. So talk to us about this fight and a big, big opportunity for both of you on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity, and I'm going to take it with both hands. I'm just glad he's here today. Not got no sore hands like last time. So yeah, it's going to be a good fight. I've trained for more than 12 rounds, and Felix Cash is going to get smashed. So yeah, good fight.
Okay, well, didn't know if you'd say that, but now
fucking hell, who put 20 pence in him?
That belt's coming on with me, Cock.
Is it, yeah? We'll see.
I like this because this is the first time you've been involved in a fight or a situation like this. Jack, you've sold a huge amount of tickets.
Yep.
Felix said that's not going to help you in the slightest, but you have. There's going to be a lot of pressure.
They can't get in the ring for you, Jack, can they? So, you know what I mean? You got to get in there with me by yourself, so they can't fight for you,
I'll
mate.
be getting in
you know
there.
what I mean?
You'll be asked to be getting smashed.
Well, we'll see then, won't we? We'll see. You're nothing but a tall, lanky piece of piss. That's what you are,
We'll see on fight night then, won't we?
You're going to get smashed. That's what you are. I'm going to smash you.
You've not got a sore hand.
I'm going to break my hands off your head anyway. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to smash you. Not my two hands. I'm going to drive a straight into your face, you lemon.
After the fourth round, his arse was flapping. Gone down.
Jack, this fight is, again, Felix, by far the toughest test of your career. He has looked very, very good as a pro. You're confident that you've got the ability.
Yeah, he's a good opponent. He's probably the best opponent I've fought. And like I said, I've not fought anybody. But no, neither has he. He's not fought anybody neither. So we're both going in it. And we're both on it. We're both hungry for it. And the best man wins. And I'm coming on with that belt.
Do you believe that you win the fight inside the distance? Or do you...
I believe I win the fight in distance, yeah.
Felix, obviously you don't agree with that, but you agree you win the fight inside the distance. But this is a big fight for you. I mean, you know, you've been faultless, as I said, as a pro so far, but this is a chance, big breakout fight, Manchester Arena, big crowd, kind of fight that you need and you want, and you look like you got the bit between your teeth for this one.
Yeah, listen, it's, you know, I'm looking really forward to it. You know, it's a big show, big event for me, and you know, and it's a lot of people's going to be watching, so I can showcase my skills and what I'm about. You know, he's had one little bit of a good win against a mediocre opponent, and I don't know where he's getting all this from, but he thinks he's a world champion or something. But listen, he's going to see on Saturday night that, you know, he's in with a whole different animal, and he's going to be in for the shock of his life.
What's the difference between you two? Why do you see yourself so confident to get that stoppage victory?
Well, watch him. You know what I mean. He looks like he's trying to fight. He's trying to fight my fight. You know, he's going to be there to be hit. He don't look like he's a big, massive puncher. You know, he throws a straight 1-2 and then tries to listen. I'm just a whole different level than him. We'll see on Saturday night.
Thank you, Felix. Jack, Commonwealth middleweight title. Can't wait for that fight on Saturday night. We're going to go to the women's light welterweight world championship between Katie Taylor and Christine Linardou. Christine, welcome. And we're going to bring in Brian Cohen to say a few words. I was going to put you up here, Brian, but you had a go at me last time, so I've kept you over.
I won't put me up there either.
In all seriousness, we have neither representative from either side. So, Brian, welcome.
Thank you.
I think we're all right now.
Yeah, we're good.
Good, thank God for that. But
don't get cute.
I won't get cute. No, you're too cute for me. Talk to us briefly about Christina's camp. I saw at the workout last night the footage. She looks very fit, very strong. I've seen representatives here from DeBella Entertainment as well, your whole team.
Yep.
Alex, hello. This is a big moment for you guys, big moment for Christina, and a massive opportunity for her to completely turn the women's world boxing scene on its head.
It is. You know, the last time we were here, you know, we had a little verbal sparring match. Sold a little bit more tickets, I think. So when Christina went back to Greece, her trainer, Manny, set up training camp in the mountains. So she's been training in the mountains, which kind of scares me a little bit because I always said she's a little thrown off, right? So I get a phone call 3 days into the training camp, tells me she hurt her rib. I said, well, what was she doing to hurt her rib? He said he was throwing boulders at her. I said, so what's the problem? He says, well, she wants to know what kind of hot sauce to put on her rib because she pulled it out and started eating it, right? So the next day, she she's been training in the mountains, and just she hasn't had touch with with any humans, to be honest with you. So it's just been him, her, in the training camp coming down for sparring, and that was pretty much it.
Interesting. Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Christina?
Yeah?
You haven't seen many humans in this training camp, and you've been eating your own ribs with hot sauce, but other than that,
not only this camp, all the next training camps, you know? I'm serious.
You look in great shape, you look very strong, ready for Saturday night.
I'm always ready. The same thing happened a few years ago. When I get a chance again, another chance. So they thought that I'm gonna go there after my fight with Persoon. I had 1 year to fight. So I went there and it wasn't what they were expecting. So I won the fight and I beat everyone. I'm always ready. I'm not getting out of the gym or preparing myself because this is what I love and what I want to do. So I'm ready for any challenge. I love challenges.
What kind of fight are you expecting on Saturday against Katie Taylor?
Like the mouse and the rat? That kind of fight, like the mouse and the rat. But, you know, like the mouse and the cat.
I was going to say, the mouse, I wasn't sure who was the rat.
That's why I say I want my translator.
Okay.
I can express myself better in Greek. Anyway, like the mouse and the cat.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. We wish you.
But even if it's not like that, I can handle everything. I can do whatever you want in the ring, in that ring, to get what I want and to win.
Thank you, Christina. Wish you all the best for Saturday. Katie, thankfully it's the mouse and the cat, not the mouse and the rat. And again, a big challenge for you, moving up to 140 pounds. We saw you win every belt in the lightweight division. Now a chance for you to make more history on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I have a chance, obviously, to become a two-weight world champion. I'm well prepared for this challenge. I've had a long training camp for this fight, the longest camp I've had actually for a professional fight. So I'm feeling well prepared. I'm feeling strong, and these are the kind of challenges that I absolutely relish. I'm expecting a very, very tough fight. Obviously, she's the champion. I'm the challenger coming into this fight, so it's going to be a tough fight, but I'm ready.
She looks very strong, looked strong and powerful last night. You've talked about her power as well. Is that one of the biggest challenges moving up in the weight division now?
Yeah, I think so. I'm obviously in against the bigger and stronger girls now, but as I said, I've put on hundreds and hundreds of rounds of sparring over these last few years, and I am ready and I'm prepared for this kind of challenge. I've had a lot of strength and condition over the last few months as well. I'm feeling ready, I'm feeling strong, and I can't wait to get in there.
Finally, it seems that everybody in boxing, in or around your weight, wants you as a scout. You've got to stay focused. You've got to try and take these challenges on head first. Seems like everybody's calling your name. Firstly, you must get through Christina on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of big fights out there for me available, but I'm only focused on this fight on Saturday night. I have to get past Christina first before, you know, all the other big names are available to me. So it's a big night for me on Saturday, and I'm just completely focused on this.
Thank you, Katie. Christina Linardou defends her 140-pound title against Katie Taylor on Saturday night. Now we move to a very, very important moment, a very important night for Anthony Crolla and Joe Gallagher. And as I said, everybody seems to be talking about this swan song and, you know, tears rolling down, but he's got a fight on Saturday night, so we're going to get into fight mode. Challenge him for what will be his final title and what will be his final fight in Anthony Crolla on Saturday night. We're going to go firstly to the man who looks to end the story on a negative note for Anthony Crolla. Frank, welcome. I believe we're going to bring in a translator here. Okay, no problem. If you could just ask Frank that it's a big night for him. Everybody talking about Anthony Crolla, but of course he's here to win the fight on Saturday.
Hello. I'm so excited to fight here in Manchester City, a city where there's a lot of boxing fans. And for me, it's an honor. I'm proud to fight against a champion warrior as Anthony Crolla is, and I'm ready for the fight.
And final question is that we've seen you fight at a very high pace. So does Anthony Crolla. We expect a great fight between the two of you on Saturday.
Anthony Crolla is a good boxer with a lot of rhythm. The fight going to be a nice fight for all the fans, and then let's going to see what happened in the ring. I'm going to do all my best, and let's hope goes everything all right.
Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we move on now to, I guess we could say, the dream team of Joe Gallagher and Anthony Crolla. And although, like I said, this is about the fight on Saturday night, I think it's only right to say a few words about Mr. Crolla, firstly from myself and Joe Gallagher. And I think that when you talk about, I think overachievement is sometimes a phrase that people can take the wrong way. But what it means is that you've put more work in than anybody else. You've got absolutely every drop out of your life and career that you could have done. And I think that's the best way to describe the career of Anthony Crolla. I remember being in Las Vegas for a fight, and we just managed to secure the Richard Abril fight for Anthony Crolla for the WBA world title. And to be honest with you, I couldn't believe that we'd managed to get a world title fight for Crolla. And I wasn't even sure he could win it. But we kind of done our job. Anthony Crolla had got a fight in Manchester for the world title. And I was so excited for him and for Joe Gallagher. And when Joe Gallagher called me that day to say that he'd fractured his skull and he'd broken his ankle, I couldn't believe it. I mean, one, because I knew I wouldn't get the deposit back from Manchester Arena. But secondly, and more importantly, I knew that the dream was over for Crolla. And we were gutted and we weren't sure he'd ever fight again. The tenacity and the heart that he showed to even come back from that injury was incredible. And when we finally got the fight with Davies Perez for the world title, I couldn't believe the performance from Anthony Crolla. I mean, he absolutely schooled Davies Perez that night. And we got in the ring, and for all the people who say, oh, British fighters always get the rub of the green, matchroom fighters always get the scorecards, they gave it a draw. It was a horrific decision, and I just thought to myself, how can you possibly do that to Anthony Crolla? We went away, we canvassed for a rematch, Gilberto Mendoza gave him a rematch, and the rematch was just spectacular. He stopped Davies Perez with a beautiful body shot, knocked him out and become WBA world champion. And for me, that was it. You know, the Crolla story, everyone had done our job. This can't go any further. He went out, he had a mandatory challenger against Ismael Barroso, who just stopped Kevin Mitchell. No one gave him a chance to win that fight. He soaked it all up in the early rounds and then knocked out Ismael Barroso. It was one of the best atmospheres I've seen at a British fight night at Manchester Arena. It was incredible. Went from there, had a unification fight, fought for the Ring Magazine title against Jorge Linares, lost a very close fight, rematched him again, went back, had a big British domestic fight against Ricky Burns, boxed at the Millennium Stadium, then went out and had a final eliminator against Daud Yordan, and then went to LA and boxed Vasily Lomachenko. The career of Anthony Crolla is without doubt, I think, one of the great success stories of British boxing. And I know everyone always says, oh, he's a nice bloke, but Crolla is genuinely one of the nicest people you will ever meet. He will do anything for anyone, which is one of the reasons actually he lost out on that Richard Abril fight, but that's another story. But he's the guy you want living next door to you. You know, he's the guy you want as your mate. He would do anything for the people around him, and he's been an unbelievable ambassador for this city and for British boxing. Anyway, enough of the nice stuff. As I said, we've got to talk about boxing, but I will just pass over to Joe Gallagher. Joe, I spoke to Anthony, I think last week, and it's always difficult when you feel like you're in good form. You're having a good camp. He said people were getting out after his sparring sessions, beefy, and people were saying to him, this is the best I've ever seen you look. But this is the moment. Collectively, you've made that decision, and although it's a great story, he must win first on Saturday night.
Yeah, 100%. Anthony, his training camp is what it always is, meticulous. He puts 100% into everything. And we've got to understand we can't take our eyes off the ball. Last time, another Manchester legend was contemplating another fight at the arena. It was supposed to be a tick-over win. He got beat and he retired on the night, and that was Ricky Hatton. We can't have that happen with Anthony Crolla Saturday night. Frank, good fighter, fought for the European title, was the away fighter, lost by 2 points on 2 judges' scorecards. It's a huge scalp. I showed Anthony, I think it was yesterday morning. You open up Boxing News this week, Anthony Crolla, number 4 in the world. You open up the Ring magazine, number 8 in the world. Been in them Ring top 10 rankings, 210 weeks. Frank has an awful lot to gain from upsetting the apple cart on Saturday night. So training's been going very well. The lads in the gym keep saying to me, has Crolla told you yet? I'm like, what? Crolla told you what? It's not his last fight, you know. And it is. I'm glad that he came out and said it is. His form's well. And that's the right time to go out when you are relevant. And you've got to look at where Anthony's come from, as you've reeled off there. 10 years ago, we were getting ready to fight Michael Broder in a couple of weeks' time. Them 10 years, the Andy Morris's, Kieran Farrell's, Gavin Rees, you were there ready, John Murray, Steve Foster, before he ever got to the world title stage. Them big nights, how quick time has gone. And to be sat yesterday after the public workout, sat here today and go, wow, this is going to be the last time Anthony's going to do this, but it's at the right time. You don't want to be a stepping stone for the young, hungry fighters coming through, your Teofimo Lopez, your Devin Haney's. Anthony was the last of that old school, your Mitchells, your Burns, everything else, and he's going out on his own accord, not because boxing's forcing him to. And as Anthony always says, boxing can take so much from you, as well as give you so much, and Anthony's doing it at the right time, getting out at the right time. Listen, on me a personal note, it's a pleasure to be able to finish Anthony's career with him. When fighters become world champions, there's always a split. You can go down in history and you see fighters then, the split trainers, people get in their ears. There's always a falling out. You've seen it with Ricky, you've seen it with Naz. But for Anthony Crolla, there's one word for him, that's loyal. He's loyal to his fans. He's still going round today, dropping his tickets off to his fans, that he's always done, his family, his stable mates. He's been in the corner all the big fights, and also to me. When so many people were in his ear, when he loses, you need to lose this, move, change trainers. But he didn't, he stuck with it. So to be able to do this last dance together, I'm hugely chuffed, proud, and as you said, Eddie, I've said it today in my column, I think it'd be fitting for Anthony to be acknowledged and honoured in the Queen's Awards at the end of this year.
I agree, Joe. I agree, and I know with your contacts, if you could drop her a text after the fight on Saturday, that'd be lovely.
I was asking you for Lizzie's number.
Crolla, you sort of laugh at things like that. I don't think you realise what you have achieved. It's going to be a special night on Saturday. I know you want to win so badly as well, and I guess looking back on your career, it wouldn't quite be the same if you didn't win on Saturday. Great career, great moments, but you really must get this win to settle well going into retirement, and it's a must-win fight for you on Saturday.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the kind words. Can't remember that last time people said so many nice things about me, but thank you. Yes, Saturday night is so important to me. It means absolutely everything for me to go out there and finish my career in style, and a lot of respect for Frank. I think we're going to make style's going to gel for a great fight, but it's one of them. Everyone keeps asking me about emotions and stuff like that, and I keep saying the same thing, is I'm just trying not to think of it as my last fight, because then you start fighting with emotions, and boxing's a sport where you can't do that. It very rarely works out well. So I'm just going to treat it like any other fight. Like Joe said then, I've had a fantastic camp, and I can't wait for Saturday night. Like I say, there's a lot of things I'll miss about boxing, but it's been a huge part of my life, and it always will be. So that'll be no different. It'll just be the last time I walk on Saturday to that ring as a fighter.
How does the hunger play in, obviously, knowing, like you say, that this is your last fight? You've got a guy, as Joe pointed out, who could basically change his career on Saturday night. Had a very close fight with Edis Tatley. If he beats you, he's going to move into the world top 5 in virtually every governing body. You still have the hunger, you know, even knowing that Sunday you're going to wake up as a retired fighter, still got the hunger to face these guys who are looking to change their life just like you did.
Without a doubt, and that makes, you know, he's got everything to gain, and that for me is motivation on its own. I want to finish this career on a high. Saturday night will be my last fight. I want to go out in style. I want to wake up Sunday morning and my mates saying, oh, you know, you've still got a lot left. And that's what I want to happen, but it'll be the last time on Saturday night, and I'll always have that hunger. And as a fighter, you've even seen it with Nigel Benn recently, that hunger never really leaves you, but I feel that you've got to, you know, feed that hunger in other ways. And like I say, I'll help coaching the kids. I'll get a lot more involved in that. Maybe in time take a stable of fighters on, I don't know, help Joe around the gym, be amongst the lads, and that'll help feed it, but it never really leaves you. But you know, you just have to deal with that the best you can. I think, you know, everyone on this table, no matter what they say, they love boxing in one way or another. And like I say, boxing's been so good to me, and I'm very thankful for what it's done for me, but now the time's right.
Thank you very much. Anthony Crolla, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to that one as well. And I know people talk about a farewell fight. Trust me, this is going to be a tough fight. Crolla against Erzketa on Saturday night. And this is a big card, big night of boxing. Don't miss the weigh-in tomorrow at 1 p.m. We're going to have head-to-heads up here now from all the guys who are here with their opponents. And we look forward to a huge night on Saturday night. And Manchester, as always, thank you very much for the support. Thank you.
I hate it. Play with the headband on that. I could tell.
If you just wait there, we'll get you up on the stage for a photo afterwards, all right?